The cryptocurrency market reached its peak in 2021. Bitcoin's value has reached an all-time high, reaching $65,000 for the second time in as many months, it having previously fallen below $30,000 early this year. Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency in general, has advanced significantly this year, obtaining a significant foothold in both financial services and popular culture, as well as a growing presence in popular art, commerce, and other areas of the mainstream. If you're seeking for a basic introduction to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you've come to the perfect spot. We'll go through the fundamentals, what Bitcoin is, where it comes from, and how to acquire it, as well as a variety of other issues, such as its valuation, legality, and practical uses, among others. Hello, and welcome to your very own channel. Today, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about Bitcoin. Stay with us until the end of the video to learn more. Like and subscribe to this channel, and also hit the bell button to get notified of all the latest updates. A quick backstory. Bitcoin was created in 2009 by a person or group of people who went by the name Satoshi Nakamoto and claimed to be anonymous. His declared goal was to develop a new electronic monetary system that was totally decentralized, with no server or central authority, according to his website. After years of developing the concept and technology, Satoshi Nakamoto passed over the source code and domain names to other members of the Bitcoin community in 2011 and then vanished into thin air. What is Bitcoin? To put it another way, Bitcoin is a form of digital currency. There are no notes to print, and there are no coins to mint. It is decentralized in the sense that it is not only controlled by any government, institution, such as a bank, or other authority. Instead of identifying owners by their names, tax identification numbers, or social security numbers, Bitcoin connects buyers and sellers through the use of encryption keys. And, unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoin is not created from the top down. Rather, Bitcoin is created by powerful computers connected to the internet and mined. How does one mine Bitcoin? Bitcoin is mined by a person, or a group of people, or a company, using a combination of advanced mathematics and record keeping. The way it works is as follows. When someone sends a Bitcoin to someone else, the network records that transaction, as well as all of the other transactions that have occurred over a specified period of time in a block of transactions. Computers running specialized software, known as miners, are used to record these transactions in a massive digital ledger on the internet. The collection of these blocks is referred to as the blockchain, which is an immortal, publicly available record of all of the transactions that have ever taken place. Miners turn these blocks into code sequences known as hashes by employing specialized software and increasingly powerful and energy-intensive hardware. This is more dramatic than it appears. Creating a hash involves a significant amount of processing power, and thousands of miners compete against one another to do it at the same time. Like a swarm of cooks, all racing against the clock to produce an exceedingly intricate new cuisine, and only the first one to serve up a perfect version of it gets paid for their efforts. When a new hash is generated, it is added to the end of the blockchain, which is subsequently updated and transmitted to the rest of the internet. The miner presently receives 12.5 bitcoins in exchange for their efforts, which was worth approximately $100,000 in February 2018. It is important to note that the amount of bitcoins provided diminishes over time. What determines the value of a bitcoin? Finally, the value of a bitcoin is defined by the amount of money that people are willing to pay for it. As a result, there is a resemblance between this and how stocks are priced. As a result of the system designed by Satoshi Nakamoto, only 21 million bitcoins can ever be mined. Nearly 19 million have been mined so far, resulting in a limited supply, similar to that of gold and other precious metals, but no true inherent worth. It is possible that Nakamoto chose the number 21 million as a result of a variety of mathematical and economic considerations. Unlike stocks, which often have some relationship to a company's current or prospective earnings, Bitcoin does not have this relationship with earnings. In the absence of a government or central authority at the helm directing supply, the concept of value is completely up to interpretation. Price discovery, which is the fundamental driver of Bitcoin's price volatility, also fosters speculation. Don't borrow money to buy Bitcoin. And manipulation, don't use your house as collateral to acquire Bitcoin. Hence the well-documented talk of tulips and bubbles. Bitcoin has made Satoshi Nakamoto a multi-billionaire, at the very least in terms of paper wealth. Many billionaires have been made among the technological pioneers, investors, and early Bitcoin miners as a result of this phenomenon. According to Fortune, the Winklevoss twins, who received a $65 million Facebook settlement, invested the money in a venture capital fund that made early investments in Bitcoin, have grown to become well-known millionaires. How do I buy Bitcoin? You may purchase, sell, and keep Bitcoins on an increasing number of digital currency exchanges, such as Coinbase and FTX, if you're ready to accept the risks that come with possessing the digital currency. Setting up a PayPal account is about as difficult as it gets when it comes to getting started. With Coinbase, for example, you may make a deposit into a virtual wallet by using your bank or PayPal account, and there are many other virtual wallets to select from. As soon as your account has been financed, which generally takes a few days, you will be able to convert traditional dollars into Bitcoin. Speaking of PayPal, a number of well-established money transfer firms now enable in-app Bitcoin purchasing, making it simple and quick for newcomers to dip their toes into the cryptocurrency pool. It's also worth mentioning that certain platforms charge significantly higher costs for specific transactions, which might result in your investment being eroded if you engage in a significant amount of trading. As a result, you should carefully read the terms and conditions before purchasing to ensure that you understand the limitations of the service. Is all of this legal? Answer in a nutshell: yes, for the time being, as long as you don't use it for illicit purposes, as you would with any other currency. Consider the fact that Bitcoin was the only currency accepted on Silk Road, a dark web bazaar for drugs and other illegal goods and services that was closed down by the FBI in 2013. Since then, Bitcoin has mostly eluded regulation and law enforcement in the United States, though it is becoming increasingly scrutinized as it attracts the interest of mainstream investors and financial institutions. Despite the fact that it is legal to acquire and trade Bitcoin, many parts of the sector, such as tax concerns for investors, remain in a murky area that may be subject to future regulation and/or law enforcement action. Bitcoin price analysis. Although Bitcoin has had a rough start to the year, analysts believe it will eventually reach $100,000. Bitcoin's price remained near $38,000 Monday as investors fretted over increasing inflation, geopolitical tensions, and the likelihood of tighter U.S. Federal Reserve monetary policy. The crypto market has recently mirrored the stock market, making it even more entwined with global economic concerns like Russia's war in Ukraine. The Fed announced in March that it will reduce its balance sheet by $95 billion each month to fight inflation, and risk assets may be volatile after the Fed's monetary policy meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday. Also, according to the latest inflation statistics, consumer prices grew 8.5% in the year to March. There is no end in sight to the war, inflation, and altering monetary policy in the U.S., analysts warn. Aguilar, head of alternative strategies and research for Aladdin, a digital asset savings and credit platform. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq have the highest correlations to Bitcoin at 0.88 and 0.91%. A correlation of 1 suggests they move in lockstep. Bitcoin has just briefly surpassed $45,000 in the last 4 months, and hasn't topped $50,000 since December 25, 2021. But Bitcoin has held above its 6-month low of $34,000. Despite the ups and downs, Bitcoin's current price is still well below its November all-time high of around $68,000. Despite the latest price drop, Bitcoin is still worth more than twice as much as it was 2 years ago. These ups and downs are nothing new for Bitcoin. Despite the recent price drop, many analysts believe Bitcoin is on its path to $100,000. However, the exact date is unknown. A recent Deutsche Bank analysis indicated that a quarter of Bitcoin investors expect the price to hit $110,000 in 5 years. The volatility is nothing new, and it's one of the reasons experts advise new crypto investors to be exceedingly cautious. Bitcoin, like all other cryptocurrencies, has steadily increased in value over time. Bitcoin investors are naturally intrigued about how high it can go. Unlike other established asset classes, Bitcoin's price is extremely volatile. What are the risks? Aside from legal and regulatory risks, Bitcoin is an extremely dangerous investment and currency to use as both an investment and a money. When you get up in the morning, you have a pretty good idea of what a dollar is worth. The financial value of a Bitcoin, on the other hand, is highly erratic, and it can fluctuate significantly from day to day, and even from minute to minute. It is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to track Bitcoin transactions back to specific persons. Although they are protected, they are also concealed due to the usage of public and private encryption keys, which are used in conjunction with one another. This pseudonymity can be enticing, especially in an age when firms and marketers are increasingly tracking our every purchase, but it does have certain disadvantages. You can never be sure who is selling you Bitcoins or who is purchasing Bitcoins from you. There are numerous opportunities for money laundering. That's all from our side. Consider it my opinion on what I am watching in the market. This is not financial advice, but a video for learning purposes. I hope this video will be very informational for you. Do like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button to get more informational videos. Thanks for watching.